Alright, what's up, guys? Let me turn this down a little bit. What's up there, Axel? How you doing, buddy? It's been a minute since I had a stream. I figured I should probably do a stream and let you know what I've been up to and the status of UMK 3 Plus here. What's up there, Cesar? Alright, so getting kind of sidetracked lately with EMK3. I know you guys are trying to get it as soon as possible. Just some bugs remaining. Yeah, I've been getting sidetracked. I'll show you what I've been doing. I've been kind of monkeying around in some Blender, and I haven't used Blender in maybe 15 or 17 years. It's been a while, but I just wanted to mess around with it, so I just started doing some meshing and stuff like that. So, this is why I've been kind of away from UMK3. I've just been monkeying around with that, but to be honest, I'll show you what it was. I was just doing like kind of this model. I was using Shellcon as a template, not implying anything there, just as kind of a visual aid. But anyways, I'm back. I know Drew's been holding it down, doing odds and ends, fixing stuff, getting it all ready as fast as we can get it ready. But we're just about there. We have just a couple bugs remaining. I'm about to do a bug or two right now while I stream. There's a last minute addition here. I'll show you guys what it is. It's randomizer. I had this option a couple days ago. Pretty much this will randomize the tower sequence, with the exception of the endurance matches, Motaro and Shao Kahn. They'll stay in their normal places, but everybody else will be randomized. This is including Melina, Classic Sub-Zero, and Ermac. They'll be in the towers as well. You won't see Rain in the towers just yet, just because we don't have his routines for the computer written yet. Not very hard to do, just something that's going to take a little more time, and I'd rather not delay the beta for just that. But yeah, so that randomizer option will randomize the tower sequence. Maybe more down the line, I may integrate that into the character select screen like we had on MK2. Maybe even more options. But for now, it's just the tower sequence. And if you wasn't aware, we now have an improved attract mode sequence. I brought in all the storyboard panel images from MK3. They are now in UMK3 Plus, with also the stories. So that's in there as well. Game continuation option is basically just going to be when you continue from playing a game from the continue screen, you will be taken directly to the character select screen instead of the mode selection screen. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Tags in 2v2 combat, that's going to be your somewhat typical 2v2, but in a new fashion where you can press the start button and you can tag in your teammate at any time. Obviously there's some restrictions in that tag. You're not going to be able to tag when you're being damaged. you're not going to be able to tag unless the cooldown timer has reset, because you can't just tag non-stop. That just wouldn't be very fair. We have the alternate character select screen in UMK3 Plus. I'm sure you guys seen it. Another option, since from the get-go UMK3 had a bunch of stage problems, we added a stage rotation order option, which is pretty much going to be the original rotation. The expanded with a linear list of maps in order, and then we have random, which is pretty much going to randomize the map every time you have a new fight. And then you got the coin up screen, which is kind of like an option carried over from MK2 Plus. In the future, there will be a new option, hopefully beta 2, once I get some more hardware testing. I'll probably get my UMK3 PCB up here in the office so I can do a lot of extensive testing on the CMOS options. You'll see it here. Actually, did I take it out? Yeah, I did. So it's going to be record keeping. You can put in your 3 initials and 4-digit pin, very reminiscent of NBA Jam, and it'll create a record or pull your record if you already have a record created. So that's a new feature coming in beta 2. So, and what's up there, Buzz? How you doing? And so we're just wrapping up a couple bugs here, and then we're going to try to get this out to the contributors, because what we're going to do is we're going to give the contributors like a week or two head start on this. I feel it's a very good thing to give to them, since they gave to us. We like to give back. Maybe they'll find a game-breaking bug or something that hasn't been found, and that'll leave us some more time to actually fix that if that's the case. So that's the plan on that. So that's that. That's the latest. That's what's coming. And post-mortem found for us. Deals with 2v2. That's pretty much the remainder of the bugs are just special case scenarios in 2v2, and I'll actually show you one right here. So the bug, what has been done in 2v2 tag is I've updated the main hitbox routine to show the opponent structure. Their focal point is always going to be an object, and in this case Nightwolf's focal point is smoke. So that's normally static. It's never supposed to change, but since 2v2 introduced some new dynamics with another character tagging in and out, I wanted to do like a dynamic way to update that, because there's a static way to update it when they tag in, but under certain scenarios and special cases, the character that's tagging out might hit the opponent after the new teammate is in the match, and that would cause Nightwolf to theoretically face the wrong opponent. So what I did was I updated the hitbox routine, and it forces the defender who is being hit to always face the character that hit him last. So with that being said, there's a scenario here I'm going to show you that if I were to do a teleport uppercut with smoke like so and tag out, you'll see he stays facing smoke, but he turns around because there is a safety net I put in there just in case for scenarios that weren't found yet. But if you do it fast enough, you're able to manipulate that and get a weird effect if you were to throw. Like for instance, if I do that, tag Sonya in and throw with Sonya while Nightwolf's facing the other way, it'll look kind of crazy. So let's see if I can do this. So this is my breakpoint here. So you're gonna see what's gonna happen. You'll see he'll be thrown towards smoke, and it would look really funny. So that's the bug we're gonna fix tonight. Like I said, it's just a special case scenario. Most people probably won't even find it, but since our testers are pretty good at playing the game, they generally find these things quite easily for us. What's that, Saw? Oh, your MK2 Plus should be in Fightcade 2 games list. I don't. Bring me up to speed on Fightcade 2. Is that like a tournament being held? In some area? That'd be really nice because if you get you play 2v2 tag in MK2 Plus, as well as this when this comes out, it can get really intense. With tag mode, it's a lot of fun and it is intense. Alright, so I've already got a save state, so you'll see. Okay, so that is the bug we're fixing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hook right into this setup throw routine, because this is ran every time a throw is done, and it's ran from the attacker's procedure. So there's a couple key routines here. Check if sprite needs flipped. When it gets down to this this portion of the routine, the defender still has the old character's object as their focal point, so that's what's causing our issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to pretty much make this dynamic like I did with Scorpion Spear, because Scorpion Spear was another move that did the same thing. So we're always going to make we're going to make the defender always face the attacker, which is performing the throw, rather than the standard method, which they just assume it's whoever's in the defender's structure as their focal point. Of course, Aceman Armageddon, you do see the credits at the end of a gameplay. Are you asking to see the credits? Because we do have, let's see here, we have, I want to say we do have a credits, where were they? There we go. So, if you're a contributor to UMK3 Plus, your name will definitely be in the credits here. Alright, so let's get back. Let's do this bug real fast. I pretty much got it pretty much narrowed down. We're gonna hook right here. I had this set up initially in another hook, but it didn't work out the way I wanted to. So we're going to hook here, and Objective sprite needs flipped in AO. Okay. Alright, so this should compare our facing directions here. And if they are not facing the same direction, then we'll just return out of there. But if they are, we will flip the facing direction of the opponent, which is going to be thrown. Alright, so let me put that in there, and we'll try it out. Hopefully this works the way I expect it to. OD5F, F680, FFFC. I've been getting, let's see, a lot of questions lately about the original MK Plus. I hope to get back to that rather soon. So probably after this beta is released, I can focus on that and start doing some original MK Plus. I know you guys are excited for that. Alright, so that's built. Let me go back in here. Let me get out of there. As you'll see, I'm using an older build of MAME, so I don't have the new graphics on here. But they are in there. And this is a part of the record keeping that I was explaining earlier as possibly beta 2. Pretty much just put your initials in there, you know, whatever it is, and it'll keep track of your win-loss record, and possibly other records as well. You just have to use the space wisely because UMK3 doesn't have a really big CMOS chip, as opposed to NHL Open Ice or NBA Hang Time. Not so large on MK3 and UMK3. Alright, so let's get rid of Nightwolf because he has no life. Let's just do a basic throw here. Let's just make sure our throws are still working the way they should. Seem to be. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, see, that didn't work the way we wanted it to. So let's find out what's going on. I have to modify the routine probably slightly. It's based on an old method that I was using. Alright, so here's the throw. Save our state here so we can stay here. CF, okay, so. Alright, so let's check and confirm which structures are loaded presently, so we know what we're looking at here. Alright, so it's player 1 structure, player 2's all static addresses to their structures and objects. And if you come down here, A13 is 107 FBFO, which means it's this is executing from player 1's process. Sorry, so we're going to go in and we're going to check the facing direction of Scorpion. We're going to get his object address. That's going to get its current facing direction, which is E182. Let's say 60. Oh, okay, so A8 is 103 D6BO, which isn't right. Oh, that's, let's see, A8, A0 is 103 D4BO. Okay, something seems off. Let's go back. What's up, Cabuloso? Thanks, Liam. I will be going back and fixing any bugs on MK2 Plus. I'm not sure of any extra content that will come to MK2 Plus, as I would like to get to MK1. So to answer that question, I will be getting back to MK1 as well. And I'm glad you like the work, man. Alright, so we're back at our bug here. This is our custom routine here, which is going to pair our character directions here. And right now we currently have 103 D6BO loaded into A8, which, you know what, that's why I have the same structure as shown here. So that's better. Okay. So that makes more sense. So A0 does have player 2, which is going to be Scorpion. And he is E182, and then Sonya is E582. So once you AND those by 10, they're going to be equal. And they are facing the same way. So at this point, we're going to move register A8 value into the stack pointer to preserve it. And we're going to check our face and flip the direction. Alright guys, I'm back. Let's see. So our register values here, we have A8, which is about to have player 2's object in there. 103 D4AO. Alright, so we are flipping player 2 right now. D6BO is player 1. Alright, so that's flipping the sprite. So let's see what's going on here. So we're running from player 1's process. So right now it's going to load player 2's object in their process into A8 and A13. And it's going to call A0, which is the routine to check if sprite needs flipped. So let's see what this nets us. So player 2, we've already flipped him, so player 1 is E1, or player 2 is a E192, so he's facing to the left, which is good. And so now let's see. Oh, I see what's going to happen. I see why. Because player, the defender, which is Scorpion, he's still going to have Robo Smoke's object in his 140 offset. So A4, which is his focal point, is 103.98 DO, which you can see up here. Player 1 currently is Sonya, and her address is 103D6 BO. And I do track these as well, and you can see Smoke's object is stored away off of the stage, which is here. So what we have to do also is when we flip this, actually I don't even think we have to flip this. We can just change the object and it would flip itself as soon as it came back into this next routine. So let's do that. Let's we can get rid of this code for now because we don't need to manually flip it. But what we do need to do is we do need to update the defender's focal points. So we can take this further. We don't even have to do compare directions. We can just run a static shift on the focal points. But I'm trying to think and keep in mind that what happens if you tag your partner in, and then is it possible to get off a throw after the tag? I don't think it will be. I'm running through all scenarios I can through my head on some of these throws. I don't know, something we can probably test out. So if we were to do that, we'd simply just have to go through. Since this is ran from the attacker's process, we can simply do so 170 on the process structure is always going to be the opposing fighter's process location. So what we want to do is looks like A0 would be a free register at this point. So what we'll do is we'll load the opposing player's process into A0. In his process, the focal point for him is always going to be at 140. So during this process, A8 is going to hold our object for player 1 or the attacker, whoever's throwing. So we're going to move the attacker's object into the defender's focal point of their process structure, which is going to be 140. So so that's what that's doing. Oops, I got the wrong register here. Oh no. I had it right. I had the wrong destination. Source was good, destination was wrong. So yeah, we're getting the defender's process location here, and we're moving our attacker's object into the defender's process structure at the 140 offset. And that's going to update the defender's focal point, so they will be facing the right direction. So after that's done, what's going to happen is if we follow through here, when we go back and return from this hook, it's going to call A0, which is this routine of the replicated bytes here. It's going to call that to check to see if the defender needs to be flipped and faced towards the attacker, which in this case it would be because its focal point it has been updated. So we'll just put a little note there. We'll save it, and let's put this in and try it out. Let's see what happens. Cabuloso, Instinct, Killer Instinct Plus. Yeah, possibly. That's a whole new ball game though with the MIPS assembly. Know a little bit of it, not as fluent as I am with the TMS 34010. But I really have a hard time with Killer Instinct Plus as far as thinking what could be added to that game that would make it good or better, because it's already good. So I've thought about it, but I'm not sure what I can add to it that would improve it at this point. I know Abystus has found some unused animations. I think possibly some finishers as well. He's written a nice app for Killer Instinct games that extract all the sprites and whatnot, and he's found quite a bit of stuff that's unused. I'm not really sure at this point though if it's something that should be done. Alright, so let's try this fix out. Let's see what this... Oops, I had the wrong button. You kind of missed the... not really mastered. There was... kind of discussed what I've been up to lately, what to expect from the beta, stuff like that. Just a quick up to speed kind of thing at the beginning of the stream. But now we're just fixing a 2v2 tag bug, and I'll show you what it is. So first, let me get a nice little save state here. What I'll do is I'll show you the other bug. So the bug I'm fixing now deals with 2v2 tags, in the fact that the defender is always going to hold the attacker's object in his structure. So if I were to hit Nightwolf with a teleport uppercut with smoke and he blocks it, and I tag at the same time before smoke is off the screen, Nightwolf will continue to face towards smoke, and if I come in with my new teammate and throw Nightwolf, it will look real funny because Nightwolf is reacting from smoke's direction. So I'll show you here real fast what I'm talking about. That's exactly what we're fixing here. So I've written a fix for this, hopefully, so we're going to test that right now. So we're going to see what happens here. Okay, much better. So looks like that is fixed, but with fixes sometimes other things get broken. So only testing will truly reveal whether or not it's good to go. But that's pretty good bug fix. From the scenario, I don't see many people encountering that bug, but just in case, it's taken care of. So we can mark that as done. Put that into file that under needs testing category. What's up, Shiryu Club? How you doing, buddy? Alright, so that bug's fixed. Actually, here you go. Let's where is Discord? There it is, Discord. Yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord channel, we do have a Discord channel now, which is nice, so you can chit chat about stuff at any time between other people that are looking forward to the project. Let's see. Alright, so this is another example. This is pretty much the same deal here, just Sindel throwing, but this was the bug I just fixed here. So, that's all taken care of. What else do we have here? Let me check the bug list here. See what I can dig up here that we can fix. Alright, so you can see I'm crossing them off as they get completed. You can see all the bugs that if you throw a character that's facing the direction, it looks funny. Okay, so this is the bug we just fixed. So we're gonna go ahead and cross this off. Let's see, 2v2, Robo Smoke Teleport, change fighters block. Okay, this is the same bug, so we're gonna cross that off. So we have Smoke can sometimes not have his smoke effect on Rand per combat. I think that's going to deal with the character flags. There's a specific offset, 160 offset in the character's object structure that dictates any extra flags. And Shang Tsung and Smoke have extra flags in this location. I'm thinking that might be the case for that. And then we have Liu Kang's Fireball and switching while opponent is falling causes a weird turnaround. Okay, so see if we can replicate what's going on there. I don't know if that's a 1v1, 2v2 deal, but let's see if we can spot it in 1v1 first off. I guess that's not going to work with a debug option on. What do you guys think about the graphics searcher just being into the beta? Would you guys like to play around with that? I thought about that. It couldn't do any harm. You guys can play with it if you want. I mean, it's not a big deal either way, but alright, so we got that code off. Now let's turn on unlimited health, just in case it takes us a minute to get this bug. It was working on hardware, wasn't it, Michael, at one point, and something probably didn't get updated? Oh, really? I was under the impression that it worked on hardware as well. Oh well, not a big deal, I guess. It's really not something that's useful on hardware anyhow, since it's aimed towards finding stuff, which is at the point to where you'd probably be on the PC emulating it anyways. Hey Michael, I fixed the throw bug. So throw bug is fixed if you tag and tag in another teammate and throw before they turn around. That's all fixed. It's pretty much a it pretty much just makes the opponent face towards the attacker every time he's thrown. Similar to what was done with the spear. But Scorpion Spear had two steps. Had a step to where we had to make them face towards the towards Scorpion, and also reel towards Scorpion as well. So when he reels them in, they reel in the right way. Alright, so I'm trying to replicate this Liu Kang bug here. Let's see. Which game, Liam? Are you talking about MK2 or UMK3, MK1? Okay, so this bug says that during a fall from the opponent, they will face the wrong way. I want to say it's at a distance because there's something really strange about Liu Kang's Fireball I found out while working on some of this stuff. I'll show you what it is. Okay, so since it's pretty much two phases, it's a projectile, but also at this point, it's not yet a projectile. So when it becomes a true projectile, for some reason, only his projectile has a weird. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I had to work in something exclusive for that fireball, which you can see right here. Procedure match, but check if objects match. If it's Kang's fireball, his fireball inherits his. Okay, so I remember now. So when projectiles are created on this game, they have their own procedure, which pretty much controls their velocity, stuff like that, all the attributes from a control point of view. Not so much the object sprite, because that's a different structure. But it has they have their own procedures. But for some reason, Kang's Fireball inherits the same procedure as Liu Kang has. And the only thing I can come up with and to why that is because when it leaves his hand, this thing is so long initially, like right there, that they wanted to make sure to keep it consistent, to just inherit the same procedure. Since at this point, it's still Liu Kang's procedure, and it's not its own procedure for the projectile. If that makes sense. Trying to explain it the best I can. It's kind of hard to understand, but yeah. I don't know, Ryan, if that's it, because I've got to believe that I've run across some projectiles I've dealt with that are aerial as well, like Katana's fan. Cabal's projectile. So if you guys think that might be it, you can possibly try those other characters that have the aerials and see if you get that same kind of result. But I believe it's because that projectile is an extension of Kang, so they make it inherit the same procedure address. At this point it does, because you can hit them almost instantly if you're right up on them, and that hit will come from the same procedure as Liu Kang has. But if you were to do the fireball from far away and it hit Nightwolf, it wouldn't be that same procedure at that point. I believe it then creates a procedure down the line, a new one for the fireball after it's left his hand completely. I understand that, Master, as I had to do something like that with Liu Kang's bicycle kick and MK2 when I added the combo counter on that game. Yeah, that should be about, what, 6 hits? So, and the beautiful thing that I went and redone on this game as far as the combos go is I wanted to count all the hits. Like, for instance, none of the throws were considered hits and combos, so I went through and I counted all the throws as hits. I want to say there might be a few more moves that weren't considered as well, like maybe Jax's backbreaker, Scorpion's aerial throw, stuff like that. They never were counted as hits in the combo display. So initially what I did was I went ahead and I added them as hits to the combo display, but then I got to thinking that that's going to affect the damage model of the game, because after 3 hits, I want to say it reduces damage by 50%, if I'm right. So adding those moves as hits would shift those damage models, and I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I created a separate counter of the moves that were never counted as hits. I added a separate area in RAM to count those moves. And what I did was, when it came time to show the combo display, I just pulled those into the process and tallied them up with the original hits and damage percentage, and did it that route. That way it didn't affect any kind of damage models of the game. So, because one of the things we want to stay true to is the core gameplay, because I know people like to play it competitively. So that's always a thought in the back of my mind when doing stuff like that. But we can definitely do something with Kang's bicycle kick, though. If we wanted to, we can probably go into let's see. Combat codes, combat. Let me find the routine here. This fighters continue track by addition. I thought it was some addition settings, stages, tools. Trying to find the routine I have here for this combo. Make sure I didn't overlook it here. Oh, that's all good. Maybe it's an. That'd be crazy, Liam. That would be crazy. Let's see. Helpers. There it is. Combo display enhancements. So another move was Kano Shakedown. That was never done correctly, so that was fixed in this game as well. Robo Smokes throw, Cyrax's throw, and so what we can do is we can just add Liu Kang's bicycle kick in here and make that count. You guys feel that that's something that we should probably do? I can make that happen. Just put the hit count on there. Thanks, Lewis. All right, so if you guys think that Liu Kang's bicycle kick, each kick deserves a count on the combo counter, let me know. I can make that happen. But I'm not counting the kicks. I'm just kidding. You guys should count them though. I'm gonna guess 7 or 8 kicks. I think MK2 he had 6 kicks. Let's see if we can count it. One, two, three. Oh, I think I was off on that. Let me try that again. Okay, there's 1 kick, 2 kick, 3 kick, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Does this last kick count? What do you think? It's 8 if we don't count that falling kick, which I don't think he's gonna get in there, so. Like I said, all these extra hits that are being counted in the combo display are side loaded. They're not a part of the main hits, so they will not affect any. They will not modify the damage, fall off whatsoever. This is just for just visual. Check throat type, okay. So this is, we're gonna get it right here. Okay, so we're gonna go to check throat type, we'll follow this. And this is where we're gonna decide what move that we are adding a hit to. And it doesn't break on that whatsoever, so that's interesting. Let's try that again. His bicycle kick may be a special routine. Strange. If I, oh, you know what? Something's not right there. Let me double check my hooks because that's not breaking whatsoever. So, check that out real fast. E4CO, that's right, okay. Okay, so when that's right, okay. So this hook here for what I've been using for various moves that aren't normally counted as hits. Like for instance, we got Kano's Lunch Money, Jax's Backbreaker, Jax's Gotcha, Robo Smoke, Cyrax Throw, Cyrax Air Slam. Oh, I'm sorry. I know why. Never mind. It's been a while since I've been in this routine. This is the key right here. Throws. That's why. So. like I have an area for this already for these individual moves that were not throws, but let's see. I didn't play much Pit Fighter. It was okay game, but maybe it was a little early for me. Alright, so what we can do is see combo update. Alright, so this is the routine we want to be in. Let's get rid of this. We'll keep that up just for reference, but this is the actual routine that we want to be in. As a part of the one we just did a bug fix on as well. So you see this is Scorpion's Throw +1, backbreaker +1. So what we're going to do is we will hook into Liu Kang's bicycle kick reaction, and we will add the 8 hits from his kicks. Let's see here, thread injector. So this should be the thread inject jump. Okay, so let's see, it'd be A7. So A7 is going to be the routine that we're injecting into our defender, into Nightwolf's process. So he is going to take on that routine when this move hits him. Uh, 301 is going to be an instance being removed, and let's see. Okay, so let's see. We can probably take off the thread inject routine breakpoint from there, and see if I got the right spot here. I may have to do it again. Yeah, I do. So what we're doing is we're just finding the reaction routine for Liu Kang's bicycle kick, so we can modify that and add those 8 kicks in there as individual hits. Let's see, it may be invoked through this routine as well, so let me try this real fast. Also, I'll do a save state here. Yep, there we go, perfect. So I got a state save, and it also broke on the secondary injection jump routine, so we'll do that. So what we want to do is going to do a breakpoint A7 at this point, and the rest of these can just be disabled because we're not interested in any of those other routines. Let's see, B29. There we go. Found it. FFA5 84CO is the reaction routine for Liu Kang's bicycle kick. As you can see here, it's going to increase our hit count by 1. what I could do if I wanted to redo this and make this a little more efficient, instead of doing these individual reaction routine hooks, I could probably go right into the increase hit count routine and check for the ID in A7 and apply hits accordingly to that. Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna have too many more of these, so we'll stick with what we got for now. So we've already got one hit, so we're gonna do 7 more hits. Do our call increment hits, so replicated bytes, and then we will. Hey, what's up, Arturo? How you doing? No Fortuna. What I'm actually doing is we are adding the kicks, because you only get one hit count for the bicycle kick, and he actually kicks you 8 times that I've counted, I believe. So we're going to make the display for the combo display recognize that. So that's what we're doing here. We're just going to add the other 7 hits, but we're doing it in a way so it doesn't affect the damage model at all. We're just side loading the extra 7 hits on the combo display. So yeah. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, that's right, Master. It's the same damage. So he's going to retain the same damage with the bicycle kick. It's just going to just show the 7 more hits. Which, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's not. It's nothing to add it. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just add that in there. Let's see here. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this in there. Let's see, update hits. Okay. Update hit from bicycle kick. So that is going to be our hook there, and it's going to roll down here to, actually, let's do, so we're not updating of hooks. Let's do it down here because it makes it easier for me. Yeah, I understand, Master. Because I did the same thing for Kang on MK2. Alright, so what we're going to do is, let's see where we at. We have a routine here. Which stores our temporary stuff. temporary hits. So what I'm going to do is I have to keep in mind that when I do this routine, actually I got a better idea, because this doesn't even belong over here, honestly. This belongs over here. Because a lot of these routines that I'm going to use are relative to this routine. So instead of calling static addresses from an outside routine, we're just going to call them from here. That way, if the relative routine is called, it's always updated. So we'll take this out of here as well. We'll save that. We'll go up here and we'll put that there. Okay, so that's better, because what we're going to do is when we update these hits, we're going to use these relative routines such as get my damage location, get opponent's hit location, get my hit location, because all this is the side load damage and hit count that we add when it's time to call for the combo display. And this is what allows us to keep it separate, so we don't actually interweave it into the actual the hits and damage, so we don't affect the damage model of the game. Alright, so let's see. So first off, there's a couple different ways that this can go about. We have to know if this reaction is being invoked from the defender's procedure or the attacker's. So we'll simply go up here and check our attacker's procedure location. It's 10739BO, which is not right. It's 10732CO. So just a double check, we'll go over here, and it is player 2 10732CO. So I got my notes here, meant to be executed from defender's procedure, which this is what we're going to get for our hits. And this is going to set our location for our hits that we're storing on the side. We don't have to do damage because we're not doing anything. We're not adding the extra damage to the bicycle kick. We are just updating the visual display of how many hits the bicycle kick was. No, Luis, I'd rather not do any damage modifications on the game. Like I said, people like to play it competitively still. In fact, if you're ever around the Cincinnati area, they have an annual Cincinnati Combat Classic, which is majorly UMK3 plus, and last year we had some, actually this year I should say, we had MK2 plus. So if you're into that, you should check that out. Alright, so let's see. So we want to get, I'm going to re-jog my memory here on these routines. Hit count check. Okay, right. A2. Okay, so this is going to set our temporary hit for an A0. Okay, so A0 is going to have our hits. Gotcha. Okay. Get my hits location. Okay. So that's pretty simple. So what we'll do is we'll let's see. You should have additional hits stored. There we go. And that's going to be an A0. That's important. Also, what else is important is our registers. We got to keep an eye on what registers are being used. So A0 will be used in the upcoming procedure routine increment hit count. So that leaves us A0 safe to use. A0 again, A0 again. Okay. So we're good on A0, and we can also do what I want to do. I'm going to get one more register here. Probably going to be A1. Yeah, okay, so we can use A1 as well. So what we're going to do is our location for hits is going to be in A0. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the value at A0 and A1. That's going to get additional hit count. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 7 more hits to A1. And then we'll move A1 back into the value at A0. And that should be all that's needed for that. So we're getting the location of our additional hits into A0. We're going to move that value into A1. We're going to add A7 to A1 and move A1 back into that location. And then when it's time to show a combo display, it will run through one of these routines in here. Yeah, it'll run this routine. It'll tally up the additional hits and the standard hits. So, all right, so let's run that through there and see how it looks. FFFC DDOO. Alright, 524 bytes. That was. And the last thing we're going to do is we got to add this hook in here. Which is OD5F ECDO FFFC. Alright, so let's build this and see what we get when we do Liu Kang's Bicycle Kick now. Alright, we'll start off. We'll get a state here. So this should say 8 as soon as... oh, there we go. 8 hits. Alright, let's turn off the debug combat code for Sans Power, and we'll just play with that some more. Just to make sure it's solid. Do unlimited health and unlimited time. Oops. I really got to turn off that let's see. MK3, his 7-hit combo does 36 damage, huh? Alright, so this should be 9 hits here. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so so we can get what's that? Probably a 10 hit if I can get this one. Okay, so we're gonna consider that fixed. Well, not that it was really broken, but it is an improvement. So Liu Kang's bicycle kick now does uh, count as 8 hits instead of 1 hit, but it does not affect the damage model at all. So that's good. All right, what else do we have here? That might do it for tonight. I don't think there's anything else here. So we fixed the throw bug. We added 8 hits to Kang's bicycle kick. There we go. All right, so we are winding down on the bugs. I got this weekend off, so we might have this thing ready by the end of the weekend. I want to look into the fireball bug that Michael has found. I gotta look into the specifics because I'm not sure how to replicate it. But when you hit somebody with Liu Kang's fireball, they will kind of look the wrong way. But I think it's during 2v2 tag, if I'm not mistaken, during a specific time of tagging. So Michael, if you can get a video, if you're still watching, if you can get a video of that and send it to me, I'll try to reproduce it so I can see what's going on and fix it. Other than that, we have, let's see, I think there was one other minor bug. And that was, let's see. Let's see if I can find it here. It is. Let's see. Okay, so we have a brutality bug here we can check out for Sindel, and I think I'm gonna nerf Sindel just because I don't like her. I don't know why. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna touch any of that stuff. I just like giving Michael a hard time about his favorite character. All right, so since I know not a whole lot off the top of my head on this game on the finisher moves and whatnot, let me find the brutality move for Sindel, because apparently she does not fly. She does not. That is the bug list, or that's the bug. Sindel does not fly in air after performing a brutality. So we're gonna look into that. Maybe I'll make her explode or something as well. So let's find her brutality move here. Special moves. Alright, so let's go in there and turn off, well, we can turn on Sans power just for a fast win here, but we'll turn off unlimited health and turn off unlimited round time. Take a little practice here because it's been a while since I've done one of these brutalities. Oh, I did it again. I forget that I put this option on. I was doing something. I was testing something out and I forgot to turn it back off. Alright, high punch, block. Low kick, block. Low kick, high kick. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in a couple different passes here. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what's weird? Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say I'm not getting any. Let's do this. I'm getting some lag on my emulator. Maybe. Oh, there it is. I was adding, for some reason I was adding an extra high punch. Almost had it. 2 more hits. Yeah, this is same spot. Let's try again. High punch, block, low kick. Okay, let's see. I have to get a save state when this happens too, because I don't want to have to do this again. Oh, dang it. This is, let's see. This is, usually they have like unique patterns. This is not so much one of those patterns, so it's kind of. High punch, block, low punch. And it's getting late too, so my mind is like, no, you can't make me do it. I need Victor. Victor, where you at? Come do this brutality for me. Okay, so let's take this one piece at a time. High punch, block, low kick, block. Punch, block, low kick, block. Kick, high kick, block. Okay, so. Okay, so we've got. Okay, so we got this far. Oh, I think I was one hit away. So we've got. Oh, why do I keep doing that button? Damn it, one hit. Oh my god, finally. Jesus. That took a lifetime to do. It was just getting difficult because the emulator's lagging quite a bit. Yeah, and you won't see those brutality letters on this build of MAME. So they're there. You just won't see them. Alright, so the bug we're after now is Sindel doesn't fly. So we gotta look into that. Yeah, I'm aware. Forgot about Trace, about the ROM patcher. Um, right, so what we'll do is we'll stop there for the night. I'll pick this up in the morning since I am off this weekend. I'll be working on this in the morning. So what I have to do is probably put a breakpoint on the win pose routine for the character and see why she is not flying. And we'll go from there. We'll see what's causing that. But let me save this real fast. All right, so let's wrap things up here. So we'll just go over what the status is. We just have these few remainder bugs, one or two bugs that I gotta fix myself, and we'll send that release candidate to the testers. Let them play it for a bit. If everything goes well, we will send those out to the contributors. So everybody who's contributed to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 Plus, you guys will get it a week or two early, so you guys can play around with it and check it out. Maybe if you find something wrong, we can fix it before we do the release publicly, and we'll go from there. But we should be good once it hits the contributors. Let's see. What else? I feel like there was something else I was gonna talk about, but well, I can't remember what it was, but we'll go from there. Tomorrow we will finish up on Sindel's non-flying bug after a brutality. We've got that bug. We have I think all this stuff is good here. I'm gonna just cross this off. We have her. We have Sindel's flying bug after a brutality, and I will look also into smoke can sometimes not have a smoke effect on rand per combat. I'll look into that as well. Other than that, that should do it for 2v2 bugs, and UMK3 Plus should be ready to release after those are fixed. And then sooner or later, I'm going to get back to MK2. There's a few problems with MK2, obviously. I expected some being out in the wild and being played a lot more, so we've got some bugs reported on that. I'm going to get back to that soon as well. After UMK3 Plus is released, I will probably bounce over and do MK1. I might do some NBA hang time. Still thinking about what I want to do to that game. A lot of people want, missing players added. Some people want updated rosters, stuff like that. But there's very little leftover ROM space in that game. Mark did a good job of filling those ROMs up. There's not much left over, but Maybe I'll find some data I can offload into the graphics side, kind of like I did with the MK1 bio images. I offset those into the graphics side, so that freed up about 50 or 60% of RAM space on MK1. I might do some NBA hang time. It kind of sucks because if I do an NBA game, it's going to be probably hang time since that's my favorite. Um, but I get a lot of people asking me to do NBA Jam TE, which I understand a lot of people, that's nostalgic for them. They like that game. I like it as well, but I feel NBA Jam NBA Hang Time is a much better game. Partly because of the character creation. It is missing Tim Kitzrow, but it's still a good game. M-Doc is headset kicked off on me. So M-Doc does a pretty good job. I like his song at halftime. But yeah, that's on the horizon. For now, though, we want to get UMK3 Plus out there. I got to do some website updates as well. I have the ROM patcher is down. That's due to the fact that the ROM patcher runs through the guy that wrote the JPS JavaScript patching system. He runs it through his site. That's what we were directing it through. But he has since put his source code available to the public. So as soon as I have some time, I can get that running on Mortal Kombat Plus's server. We can get that ROM patcher working again and use it for UMK3 Plus. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We have starting with the Wolf Unit games. We have they all have serials. So if you want to run this game on your machine, if you're running it on the machine, it will need to be patched so it matches your serial, because if it doesn't match your serial that the build is made for, it will not run on your machine. Did that with the checksums. So all the checksums work with that. So if you want to run this on your machine, you will have to have me patch your serial into the revision. So let's see. I actually have. I'll show you. This was where's it at here? Maybe this is it. Okay, so yeah, this was initially made by Bree. He did a lot of the well, actually he did all of the MK2 checksum updater for me, and he made his source available to me. So we updated that to accept UMK3 and also the serial of the PCB into effect. So it's pretty much just ran just by a simple click of a button, and it updates and recalculates the checksums and everything all at once. So yeah, if you're gonna run that on your machine, you'll have to get a hold of me, and we'll see what we can do about either getting you some ROMs or getting you some bin files there to update and run in your machine. Let's see here. We have So, as you may know, I do run two different versions of MAME here. I run one specifically for using symbols, which is easier for debugging. And I also have one that I run for a custom build of MAME that I had to make for the extended graphics because obviously we made new graphics for the game, and those reside in a new unused location on the Wolf unit PCB. So to comply with that, I had to make a custom build of MAME. And as you can see here, this is pretty much updating the checksums and the serial for the game. So this is what I'll run when doing that. Let's see, and if that were and this is the version that has the graphics. So we'll run through that just to show you all the ROMs verify. So this is it's really handy. Every other hack out there that I've seen doesn't have any kind of updated checksums, which would make it kind of difficult, because once in a while when someone has some ROMs that they put in their machine from one of these projects, they might have a problem, and it's the first thing you go to. You go to the CPU board test, and if something comes up red, we know for a fact that there's something wrong with the ROM, and it's not coming up red just because the code's been modified since we have legitimate checksums being calculated. So that about does it. It's been a while since I had a stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Really excited and looking forward to getting MK3 Plus or UMK3 Plus out there to you guys. Which, if everything goes well, should be within about a week to the contributors, and a week or two after that for the rest of the public. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a good night. I'm out of here.